Your heart has faithfully served you for more than 6 decades, enduring moments of stress, rushed meals, and habits you never imagined could harm it. But the frightening question to ask today is whether what you are eating each day is truly nourishing your heart or silently cutting years off your life. In America right now, someone dies from heart disease every 34 seconds, and many of these cases are not due to genetics, but the direct result of daily food choices. This is not a cold statistic, but a wake-up call that every slice of bread, every cup of coffee, and every package of deli meat you bring home can mean the difference between a strong heart and a sudden heart attack. What makes this reality even more painful is that many foods marketed as healthy are in fact the very culprits behind inflamed blood vessels, rising levels of bad cholesterol, and a heart forced to struggle against hidden damage. Countless people over 60 believe they are eating the right way, only to discover they have been misled by glossy labels and clever marketing campaigns. That sense of betrayal does not just sadden you, it pushes you to ask what must be done to protect your body from the traps hiding on supermarket shelves. In today's journey, you will not only uncover the most common mistakes, but also receive the keys to making the right choices. We will look closely at 9 foods that cardiologists recommend keeping in your kitchen, foods proven to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and lower the risk of stroke or heart attack. You will see that every small change, whether it is choosing the right butter, picking safer eggs, selecting whole grains, or adding salmon, can build into a stronger wall of protection for your heart. So let this introduction be an invitation to step into a new path, where every decision in your shopping cart is more than just a meal choice. It is a life or death decision. Now is the time to reclaim control, to nourish the heart that has carried you for over 60 years, and to help it keep beating steadily and strongly for the years still ahead. For decades, Americans were told that to live healthier lives, we had to avoid saturated fats and replace them with low-fat products or margarine. Yet modern science has revealed the opposite. Margarine and the industrial oils used to make it are powerful inflammatory agents that damage blood vessel walls and accelerate the formation of atherosclerotic plaque. This left millions of people believing they were protecting their health while their hearts quietly paid the price. For many older adults, realizing they had been misled for so many years brings anger and regret. But more importantly, it awakens the understanding that change is long overdue. It is not just butter and margarine. Bread is another striking example. On supermarket shelves, loaves labeled whole grain or healthy grain often contain refined flour, added sugar, and industrial additives. Once stripped of fiber, each slice of bread becomes a quick source of starch, spiking blood sugar and forcing the heart to work harder. For seniors who are already vulnerable to fluctuating blood pressure and weakened blood vessels, these seemingly harmless loaves can become hidden triggers for sudden heart attacks. This truth may cause anxiety, but it also opens the door to smarter and safer choices. Breakfast cereals are another trap that countless American families have fallen into. With their colorful boxes and promises of extra vitamins and minerals, processed cereals have been a morning staple for decades. Yet behind the packaging lies high sugar content, refined carbohydrates, and artificial nutrients that provide no real cardiovascular benefit. Studies consistently show that excessive added sugar raises triglycerides, lowers HDL, and drives the progression of atherosclerosis. Many older adults feel disheartened upon learning this, reflecting on years of misplaced trust in what seemed like a healthy product. But they also feel motivated to discover safer alternatives. We must face the fact that foods marketed as healthy are not always heart protective. This confusion has played a major role in making heart disease the leading cause of death among Americans over 60. The solution is not to adopt extreme diets or eliminate every familiar food, but to learn how to distinguish real, nourishing foods from industrial products designed mainly for long shelf life and maximum profit. Once that awareness takes root, the path forward becomes clear. Let go of illusions and return to foods that truly strengthen and protect the heart. In the next section, we will look closely at 9 foods that should have a regular place in your diet in 2025. This is not a passing trend list, but a set of choices backed by research, proven by science, and recommended by top cardiology experts. Each food will show you why it stands apart, how it reduces inflammation, lowers bad cholesterol, and keeps your heart beating strong and steady for many more years to come. 9 foods to eat in 2025 to protect your heart. This is the heart of our journey, where we explore each food that cardiology experts recommend including in your daily diet. Every choice carries unique properties that help reduce inflammation, stabilize blood pressure, lower bad cholesterol, and strengthen blood vessels. For Americans over 60, these foods are not just nutrition, they are a shield protecting the heart against heart attacks and strokes. Number 1. Grass-fed butter. For decades, butter was demonized as the number 1 culprit of heart disease because of its saturated fat content. Nutrition experts in the 1980s and 1990s repeatedly advised Americans to swap butter for margarine or low-fat spreads, believing this would safeguard heart health. Sadly, those who followed this advice did not become healthier. Instead, rates of heart disease, diabetes, and obesity surged. This mistake not only shifted millions of families toward harmful eating habits, but also forced countless hearts to endure the silent damage caused by industrial fats. Today, science tells a very different story. Grass-fed butter is not only harmless when consumed in moderation, but is also rich in heart protective compounds. It contains CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, a natural fatty acid shown to reduce inflammation and improve lipid metabolism. Compared to grain-fed butter, grass-fed butter provides more omega-3s and is higher in essential vitamins A, D, and E, all critical for maintaining heart and vascular health. Research published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that people who consume dairy products from grass-fed cows tend to have higher levels of antioxidants and omega-3s in their blood, translating to a lower risk of cardiovascular disease. The cardiovascular benefits of grass-fed butter come from its healthier balance of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids. Excess omega-6, often found in industrial seed oils, fuels inflammation and accelerates plaque buildup in arteries. Grass-fed butter provides natural omega-3s that help restore balance and protect the endothelial lining of blood vessels. For adults over 60, this balance is crucial since the cardiovascular system has already endured decades of accumulated wear and tear. When shopping at American supermarkets, look for butter labeled grass-fed or pasture-raised. European butters often contain 83 to 85% fat, compared to around 80% in American varieties, making them richer in nutrients and energy. Trusted brands include Kerrygold from Ireland, Vital Farms, and New Zealand butter found at Costco and Aldi. What they share in common is milk sourced from pasture-raised cows, free from GMOs and naturally nutrient-dense. For many older adults, discovering that a food once labeled bad can actually support heart health brings both surprise and reassurance. Grass-fed butter is not a free pass to indulge recklessly, but when used wisely, it offers both flavor and measurable medical benefits. It is living proof that science evolves, and with it, we gain the chance to correct old mistakes and nurture a stronger, healthier heart. Pasture-raised eggs. For many years, eggs carried an undeserved bad reputation, blamed for raising cholesterol and contributing to heart disease. Countless doctors and nutrition experts of the last century advised older adults to limit or even avoid eggs altogether. This led millions of American families to believe they were doing the right thing by eliminating one of the most nutrient-dense foods from their meals. Yet modern science has overturned this outdated belief, showing that eggs are not the enemy of the heart. Instead, how the chickens are raised is what determines their true nutritional value. Pasture-raised eggs are entirely different from industrial eggs. These chickens live outdoors with room to roam, foraging for insects, worms, and grass, while receiving small amounts of clean grains. This natural lifestyle transforms their eggs into a far superior source of nutrition. Analysis shows that pasture-raised eggs contain twice the omega-3s, 3 times the vitamin E, and 7 times the beta-carotene compared to conventional eggs. These nutrients play a vital role in reducing inflammation, improving vascular function, and shielding the heart from atherosclerosis. The yolk itself offers visible proof of the difference. Industrial eggs often have pale yellow yolks, while pasture-raised eggs display a rich, deep orange color, dense and vibrant, reflecting their higher levels of carotenoids and vitamins. This is more than just an aesthetic difference. It is a reminder that real, nourishing foods carry the unmistakable imprint of nature. For adults over 60, eating just one pasture-raised egg a day can improve cholesterol in meaningful ways by raising protective HDL and reducing oxidized LDL, one of the leading drivers of heart attack risk. In American supermarkets, labels such as cage-free or barn-raised are common, but they are often marketing tricks. Cage-free only means chickens are not kept in cages, yet they still live crammed together in large barns. Barn-raised is also not the same as natural outdoor living. Only the label pasture-raised guarantees the chickens have access to at least 108 square feet outdoors per bird, following strict standards. Brands such as Vital Farms consistently meet these requirements and are widely recommended by cardiology experts. For many older Americans, discovering that a food once shunned can actually become an ally to the heart is both surprising and reassuring. Knowing that simply switching from a carton of industrial eggs to pasture-raised eggs can transform not only breakfast but also heart protection brings comfort and hope. It is a powerful reminder that proper nutrition begins with wise choices, and every choice holds the power to shape health in the years to come. Number 3. Real whole grain bread. In American culture, bread has long been a staple, from quick breakfasts to convenient lunchtime sandwiches. Yet there is a hidden truth few notice. Most loaves on supermarket shelves labeled whole wheat or multigrain do not actually live up to their names. In reality, many are made from refined flour, stripped of its fiber-rich bran, then artificially enriched with vitamins and minerals. On top of that, they often contain added sugar, seed oils, and preservatives, making the bread soft and sweet but burdensome to the heart. Scientific evidence shows that consuming bread made from refined flour causes blood sugar spikes, overstimulates insulin production, and over time leads to insulin resistance, belly fat, and a higher risk of type 2 diabetes. For adults over 60, this is a serious concern because insulin resistance and high blood sugar are key drivers of plaque buildup, narrowing blood vessels, and placing constant strain on the heart. Studies from the American Heart Association repeatedly confirmed that diets rich in true whole grains lower the risk of death from heart disease, while diets high in refined starch sharply increase the danger. Real whole grain bread, especially sprouted bread, paints an entirely different picture. When grains are sprouted, their fiber, B vitamins, zinc, and magnesium increase significantly. Eating a slice of sprouted bread not only provides steady energy, but also helps stabilize blood sugar, lower harmful LDL cholesterol, and strengthen vascular health. For older adults, this is an essential swap to prevent sudden blood sugar spikes and reduce the burden on a heart already weary from years of work. When shopping in American supermarkets, look for brands that are transparent about ingredients, free from enriched flour, free from added sugar, and truly made from sprouted whole grains. Ezekiel and Dave's Killer Bread are two widely recommended options, but the key principle is simple: fewer ingredients, more fiber, and no inflammatory additives. The switch from industrial bread to real whole grain bread may seem small, but the impact is profound. It helps you stay full longer, manage weight more effectively, and, most importantly, transforms each slice into a quiet ally protecting your heart. For many older Americans, biting into a slice of sprouted bread with its rich, nutty flavor brings not only natural taste, but also peace of mind. It is the comfort of knowing they have made the right choice, broken free from the traps of the food industry, and are now walking a safer path toward keeping their hearts strong for years to come. Number 4. Pure coffee and loose leaf tea. For many Americans, a day does not truly begin without a hot cup of coffee in hand, and the afternoon feels calmer with a soothing cup of tea. Yet hidden within this seemingly harmless habit are silent dangers to the heart, especially when the wrong type of coffee or tea is chosen. Convenient K-cup pods, flavored coffees with vanilla or caramel sweetness, and glossy nylon tea bags all carry artificial chemicals and additives, like uninvited guests who quietly take a seat at your family table every single day. Science shows that caffeine in coffee and catechins in green tea can be powerful allies for the cardiovascular system. They act as antioxidant warriors, reducing inflammation, improving endothelial function, and supporting blood pressure control. But these benefits only unfold when you drink pure, unflavored coffee and loose-leaf tea, not the heavily processed industrial versions. A Harvard study revealed that moderate drinkers of pure coffee had a lower risk of death from heart disease, while those who consumed sugary, flavored coffee beverages faced higher risks. Imagine your heart as a conductor and your blood vessels as the orchestra. When you drink a cup of pure coffee or loose-leaf green tea, the orchestra plays in harmony, steady and balanced. But when you choose plastic pods and chemical flavors, the music turns chaotic. Rhythms break apart, and your heart strains to hold the tempo. For adults over 60, the difference between real coffee and industrial coffee can be the line between a healthy morning and a day shadowed by cardiovascular risk. When shopping, prioritize whole bean coffee with clear origins, ideally single origin, to ensure purity and safety. For tea, choose loose leaves stored in tins or natural paper bags, steering clear of nylon or rayon tea bags that can leak microplastics into hot water. A simple stainless steel infuser is all you need to turn your tea drinking habit into a daily ritual of heart care. For many older adults, shifting from convenient pods to whole beans and from nylon bags to loose-leaf tea feels like clearing the yard of clutter and keeping only what is pure and trustworthy. It brings a quiet joy, a sense of reassurance that every sip of coffee or tea is not only warm and comforting, but also a gift of nourishment for the heart, helping it beat strong and steady for the years still ahead. Number 5. Organic oats. Amid the endless breakfast options in America, from brightly colored cereal boxes to convenient granola bars, there is one food that has stood the test of time for centuries while never losing its value: organic oats. If processed cereals are like flashy paintings that are hollow inside, organic oats are the quiet, loyal friend, rarely advertised but always working in the background to protect your health. For adults over 60, a morning bowl of organic oats can be a powerful shield against high cholesterol, arterial plaque, and sudden heart attacks. Generations of Americans grew up believing that fortified cereal boxes were the perfect breakfast, but in reality, most of them contain refined carbohydrates, added sugar, and synthetic nutrients that the body does not absorb as effectively as those in real foods. The hidden spoonfuls of sugar act like tiny stones, piling up in the arteries day after day, forcing the heart to strain harder to pump blood. Organic oats, on the other hand, bring with them a natural gift: beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that works like a soft broom, gently sweeping harmful LDL cholesterol out of the bloodstream and leaving clear pathways for nourishing circulation. Research has proven that regular oat consumption significantly lowers the risk of heart disease, especially in older adults who are prone to lipid disorders. Beta-glucan not only reduces LDL, but also increases satiety, helps control weight, and stabilizes blood sugar levels. With every warm bowl of oats, your heart is given a biological armor that shields it from the silent attacks of excess fat and sugar. In American supermarkets, choosing organic oats is the key. Read labels carefully and look for organic rolled oats or steel-cut oats, steering clear of flavored instant packets like cinnamon apple or strawberry, which are often loaded with sugar and preservatives. Organic oats are surprisingly affordable. Just a few dollars can cover an entire week of heart-healthy breakfasts. Add antioxidant-rich berries or a spoonful of ground flaxseed, and you have transformed your morning meal into a natural prescription for heart protection. For many Americans over 60, each spoonful of organic oats is more than just breakfast. It is a personal commitment to staying on the right path. Much like the warmth of the morning sun that begins a new day, organic oats bring peace of mind, joy, and the reassurance that every heartbeat is being cared for in the most thoughtful way possible. Number 6. Packaged tuna and wild-caught salmon. When it comes to heart health, few foods serve as a stronger natural shield than omega-3 rich fish. Packaged tuna and wild-caught salmon are like small but resilient warriors, delivering high-quality protein and essential fatty acids that help calm inflammation throughout the body. For Americans over 60, each pouch of tuna or salmon is not just a quick, convenient meal, it is a powerful dose of prevention against heart attacks. For years, many people hesitated to eat tuna out of fear of mercury exposure. But it is important to remember that chunk light, or skipjack tuna, smaller species, contain far lower levels of mercury compared to larger varieties such as albacore. At the same time, wild-caught salmon, particularly from Alaska, is nature's true gift, with 3 times the omega-3 content of farmed salmon. While farmed salmon often needs artificial coloring to achieve its pink-orange hue, wild salmon naturally glows with a deep red color from a diet rich in shrimp and marine life, a warning flag turned into a sign of safety and genuine nutrition. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that people who regularly consume omega-3s from fish have a significantly lower risk of death from heart disease compared to those who eat little fish. Omega-3 fatty acids act like skilled musicians, fine-tuning the heartbeat, thinning the blood, reducing clot formation, and keeping arteries flexible. As circulation becomes stiffer and harder to manage with age, omega-3s are the music that keeps the cardiovascular orchestra playing smoothly. When shopping, choose tuna packaged in water instead of oil to avoid excess inflammatory fats, and prioritize salmon labeled wild-caught. These options are not only heart protective, but budget-friendly, often just about $1 per protein-rich serving, making them far cheaper than fresh fish while still preserving their cardiovascular benefits. They can be easily transformed into salads, sandwiches, or mixed with steamed vegetables to create light yet nourishing meals. For many older Americans, having a pouch of tuna or wild salmon in the pantry brings comfort and reassurance. It is like having a silent cardiologist standing beside you at every meal. Each time you open a pack, you are not just preparing lunch. You are giving your heart an essential gift, one that helps it beat strong and steady through the years ahead. Number 7. Organic turkey. In many American families, slices of turkey tucked inside a lunchtime sandwich are as familiar as church bells or the smell of pies on Thanksgiving. Yet behind that convenience, most industrially packaged turkey products are dangerous traps for the heart. They are often injected with nitrates to preserve their rosy color, phosphates to keep them tender, and carrageenan to add texture, all layers of disguise hiding a harsher truth. Each time you eat those slices, your body absorbs chemicals that inflame blood vessels, forcing a heart already weary after 60 years of work to carry an unnecessary burden. Science has shown that nitrates and phosphates in processed meats raise the risk of high blood pressure and vascular damage. Carrageenan, a seaweed-derived additive, turns into a silent source of inflammation once inside the body. These agents act like drops of water slowly eroding stone, wearing down arterial walls day by day until one day they unleash the storm we call a heart attack. This is not just a warning, but a reality reflected in medical statistics linking processed meat consumption with significantly higher rates of cardiovascular disease. In contrast, organic turkey is like a trustworthy friend, honest, simple, and quietly protective. It contains only what is necessary: turkey meat, a pinch of sea salt, perhaps rosemary, or a touch of natural potato starch. Eating it, you not only taste the mild sweetness of real meat, but also feel reassured, knowing each slice is clean, safe, and free of hidden chemicals. For Americans over 60, it is a wise choice that delivers lean protein to maintain muscle strength and support metabolism without adding extra stress on the heart. In American supermarkets, look for trusted organic turkey brands, such as Applegate Organic, where products come from turkeys raised on organic grains, free from GMOs, and without artificial additives.
While the price may be slightly higher than industrial products, every dollar spent is a direct investment in your heart's future. And when you hold that package of organic turkey in your hand, remember it is more than just food. It is a small ticket granting your heart more healthy years, more steady beats, and more time to walk alongside your family and your life.
Number 8. Potato chips cooked in avocado oil. For many Americans, especially those over 60, potato chips are more than just a snack. They carry memories of family football games and sunny picnics. Yet the bitter truth is that most chips on supermarket shelves are fried in cheap seed oils like soybean, sunflower, or canola oil. These oils are like hidden enemies, silently fueling inflammation in the arteries, accelerating plaque buildup, and forcing an aging heart to work harder than it should. Every time you open a bag of industrial potato chips, you are not just enjoying a treat, you are adding stress to your cardiovascular system. What makes the story even more concerning is that these seed oils have infiltrated nearly every corner of the American processed food industry. They are inexpensive, convenient, and profitable for manufacturers, but they place the health of millions on the line. Research has shown that excessive seed oil consumption creates an imbalance of omega-6 fatty acids, driving systemic inflammation, the very process at the root of heart disease. This is why cardiologists often remind older patients that even the smallest changes in cooking oil choices can make the difference between strain and safety for the heart. Amidst this troubling picture, potato chips cooked in avocado oil shine as a hopeful alternative. Avocado oil is rich in heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, stable at high cooking temperatures, and far less inflammatory than seed oils. When potatoes are fried in avocado oil, they become a healthier version of a beloved snack. Yes, they are still fried foods, but the crucial difference is that they no longer deliver the same chronic inflammatory burden. Instead of a hidden threat, each crunchy bite feels like an old friend returning in a safer, more protective form. When shopping, look for brands that clearly state cooked in avocado oil and avoid those blended with seed oils. Several premium American companies have already introduced these products, and they are gaining recognition among nutrition experts as smarter snack options. For older adults, holding a bag of avocado oil chips can feel both familiar and reassuring. It is the comfort of enjoying a taste of youth, but in a wiser version, one that protects the heart and keeps its rhythm steady for the many years still ahead. Number 9. 100% grass-fed beef. In American cuisine, beef has always held a special place, from the sizzling burger at a family cookout to the tender steak served on a holiday table. Yet what many don't realize is that not all beef is the same. Grain-fed industrial beef is like a modified copy, stripped of its natural value and carrying risks for the heart. In contrast, 100% grass-fed beef is the original version designed by nature, where every cut is the result of green pastures, sunlight, and balanced nutrition. Science has shown clear differences between the two. Grain-fed beef is typically higher in harmful saturated fats and lower in heart protective nutrients, while grass-fed beef is rich in omega-3s, CLA, and vitamins A and E. If you imagine your arteries as highways, the omega-3s and CLA in grass-fed beef are like maintenance crews quietly repairing potholes, keeping blood flowing smoothly. Research published in the Journal of Animal Science revealed that grass-fed beef contains up to 5 times more omega-3s and twice the CLA compared to grain-fed beef, numbers that could change the future of your heart health. For adults over 60, choosing grass-fed beef is more than a nutritional decision. It is an act of self-protection. After decades of strain from high cholesterol and chronic inflammation, the cardiovascular system benefits enormously from clean protein packed with anti-inflammatory compounds. Each bite of grass-fed beef is not just a delicious meal, but also a promise that your heart is being given the strength to keep beating steadily and resiliently. When shopping, look for labels that say 100% grass-fed or grass-finished, as only these guarantee the cattle were raised entirely on grass with no industrial grains.
Stores like Costco and Aldi often carry reasonably priced options, sometimes more affordable than expected. Even if the label does not always include the word organic, fully grass-fed beef is generally clean and natural enough to meet high health standards. For many older Americans, a steak made from 100% grass-fed beef feels like a classical piece of music played in perfect harmony, familiar yet pure. It rekindles the joy of savoring food without the shadow of worry. Most importantly, it is a reminder that even the most traditional American meals can become medicine for the heart, as long as you choose the right version, the one nature intended. After walking together through each food, from the golden slice of grass-fed butter to the nutty aroma of sprouted whole-grain bread, from the nutrient-rich deep yolk of a pasture-raised egg to the comforting warmth of a morning bowl of organic oats, we can now see clearly that every small choice builds a solid wall of protection around the heart. For Americans over 60, this is not just knowledge, it is a matter of survival. Your heart has been beating continuously for more than half a century, carrying the memories of an entire lifetime, and now it needs you to listen, to stand beside it, so it can keep going for many more years to come. Perhaps you still remember the joys of the past, gathering with family around a Thanksgiving dinner or sharing potato chips with friends during a football game. But you may also recall the sorrow of losing a loved one to a sudden heart attack, leaving behind an emptiness no celebration can fill. It is this mix of joy and grief that makes today's message more urgent than ever. Your heart does not need extreme changes. It needs wise, steady choices made day after day. Let curiosity guide you. Curiosity to discover why pasture-raised eggs hold more nutrition than industrial eggs, or why grass-fed beef remains the original version that nature intended. Let surprise awaken you, as you learn that a single bowl of organic oats each morning can sweep away harmful cholesterol like a gentle broom cleaning your home. And let peace of mind settle within you as you realize your supermarket decisions are no longer random but have become powerful medicine. Before we close, place your hand over your chest and feel your heartbeat. That steady rhythm is proof that you are alive, that you still have a chance, that you still have time to make the right choices. Promise yourself that you will not waste this opportunity. Your heart has carried you through a lifetime. Now it is time for you to walk beside it, nourish it, and let it continue to sing the song of life for many more years to come. Thank you for spending time with us today. If you found this helpful, be sure to follow the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss essential heart-protecting information. Your support is the motivation for us to keep delivering trustworthy, practical medical guidance. Wishing you and your family health, safety, and boundless energy.